Hello everyone. Today I will be um, doing commentary over this over me playing Mindustry. So this is a game about. This is basically like a tower defense game, and in Bloons Tower Defense 6, it's the enemies only have one path or a few paths. This game is it's also a sandbox game, tower defense game. You also need to manage your resources. I've been playing this game a lot recently. Uh, Over here, I'm just thinking like, so there are a bunch of sectors. I want to launch from one sector, which I cannot do. I want to launch from that sector because it has a lot of resources, which others do not. But then I find out like, oh, that can't happen. So then I just launch from the only sector that I can. Sectors are basically just levels. Anyways, if you play my industry, you might be noticing that I'm being very cautious here. Like really, I'm exploring a bit, but I'm being very cautious. I'm building a lot of walls, pausing a lot, and the reason I'm pausing is so that I can think. I can look at the resources that I have. I can see what to build and like think of where I should build. For example, here I was debating whether I should go for that copper over there or should I just leave that copper for now. Anyways, this place that I built right now, it, it's evident that it's evident that it's useless. Like after I build the stuff higher up, like some of these turns don't even get used, but they're just backup in case that they're only going to be used in case that they need to be used. Anyways, I'll talk about why I'm being more very cautious here right now. So the reason I'm being cautious is because so there are a bunch of sectors here in my industry campaign mode. So some of them are just numbered, uh, which aren't part of the main campaign, but you can just do them. They just fill up the in between space. And then there are the predetermined levels. I mean, the other sectors are also predetermined, but this is like the main campaign, like the focus of it. So there are a few levels. First, there's the tutorial, which is part of the main campaign. Then I go to sector number 175, which has a lot of resources. Then I get a bunch of silicon and go to frozen forest, uh, which it's very hard for me personally because it has the mace turret. I mean the mace unit as one of the enemies, which is very hard to defeat for me because they just absolutely destroy walls. And walls are just there to protect your turrets and block enemies from getting in. At least the ground enemies. Anyways, Frozen Forest was hard, so I am expecting this one to be hard. At that moment, it actually was pretty easy because I went cautiously, and there weren't a bunch of maze units just like coming and wrecking everything that I have. Anyways, I use a mechanic. I exploit a mechanic uh, where so the enemies they want to reach your core to like kill the core, right? So now while they're looking for the path to your core, they look at the path with the least number of walls that they have to destroy before getting to the core. Now you can make that a very long path, and you can fill up all the other paths to your core with a bunch, like loads of walls, like 2 3 layers of walls, so they won't go there, even though it's like very easy for them to break those walls down. They won't go for those walls since they are programmed to find the path with the least number of walls. And then I put all my most of my turrets and mentors over there. So basically, the reason I go into the information uh, thing that tells you the information about the blocks is so that I can see how much power it uses. So the vendors, it mends like walls and everything around it, but it uses power to do it. I was just seeing how much power it used. So anyways, here I'm getting uh, some drills to mine core, and then these combustion generators will turn that coal into energy, and these power nodes, they'll just move that energy or power to like places where they're needed, like near the menders. Also, there are a bunch of batteries over there, and the batteries are good because they can store power, which is good when you're using turrets, because when they're not being used, the batteries will store the power, and that when the turrets are shooting, the batteries will power the turrets. Anyways, like batteries aren't needed if you have a huge surplus of power, but even though I do have a huge surplus of powers, I just like to use batteries. Like batteries, they're fail safe. Like if your power generation gets cut off, batteries are there, as like they'll hold the power. So if your power gets cut off, then the batteries will power the stuff near it. Anyways, here I'm just thinking, like I'm putting those vendors there as a fail safe. Like if if the if I'm somehow like wrong about how their pathfinding is, like how they find the path to your core, then that's just like there if I'm wrong about it. It's just being cautious, because in the last sector, Frozen Forest, I was getting absolutely destroyed. Anyways, I'm just connecting a copper mine to the turrets at the front right now. So basically, this video I'm just yeah, you can just see me absolutely destroy these units that come out. Anyways, the reason I'm spamming junctions is because crawlers, they'll explode junctions, and you don't want a bunch of crawlers to explode your walls at the same time, because they deal a pretty decent amount of damage, like a pretty good amount of damage, and like just a few crawlers can, like if a bunch of crawlers all attack your explode at once, then your walls are going to be dead. So basically the junctions, they just pick off the routers, I mean pick off the crawlers. Anyways, I'll just yeah, this is very easy right now. Like as you can see, the hardest part is just spamming junctions everywhere. Later on, I learned to spam fewer and fewer junctions, but still do good. Anyways, I'll speed this up from 5 times speed to 10 times speed, uh, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and yeah, I'm like, as you can see, I'm pausing, and then placing a few junctions down, and then I'm pausing, placing a few junctions down. This saves copper, although I don't really need to save copper. I mean, it's just nice to save copper, I guess, and it's actually not good practice for PvP. I really need to stop uh, pausing a lot, because that's not good for PvP. Also, I placed down a few walls, uh, since yeah, it's just nice. I mean, I have the extra copper, so why not? Anyways, the Guardian, it's like a boss, like a tier 3 unit, although this one is a joke because it's a tier 3 unit. I think in the future Guardians they might be like tier 5 units, which actually might wreak havoc. Anyways, over here this Guardian is going for my power supply because that what that unit is programmed to do. That specific unit, every time that it goes from the on the campaign, it will always go for the power supply. But I just had my power supply hidden beneath walls, and I also had some add defense, so I I could defend against it. Uh, yeah, that one was easy to meet, but I think some of the tier 5s might be harder to beat unless I have late game turns and that kind of stuff. Anyways, bye.